So how's your mum feeling at this point when you're super into your faith? And
Yeah, she was very encouraging. Like at this time, I did go to church, but I went to confession for the first time since my first confession. And the priest knew me. He knew me from primary school.
Mm-hmm.
He fell off his seat in the confession. He still doesn't forgive me today. I mean, he did forgive me at the confession, but he would still bring it up like, you are just crazy. What on earth were you doing? You know, and he's a good man. I shout out to Father Slattery. God bless you. Retired now, but he's good. I needed him. I needed someone. He was a hard hitter. It was like, you know, those Irish priests that just hit you between the eyes.
Yeah.
I needed it, and he laid down the foundation. But I would pray the rosary, and really it was hard in the first year. Even though I had the foundations, it was just, you know, it's not enjoyable. Prayer wasn't enjoyable. Mass wasn't enjoyable. I have to be honest here, it wasn't enjoyable. And I asked my mother, okay, you seem to like prayer. Do you really like it, or you're just sort of saying that? Because I don't like it at all. And I know we have to pray. I know we should pray. I know we have, it's like vacuuming the carpet, you know,
Right.
it's a chore. You have to do it. You got to turn up. But I don't like it. She goes, why don't you ask Jesus to help you enjoy prayer?
your mum is awesome.
Very simple. Okay.
Is she watching right now?
I doubt it. She doesn't know how to use the internet.
I like your mum even more now. I can't wait to meet her one day.
Oh, yeah, please do. She's there on the back of the DVD set.
Yeah.
Her face is on there. You'll see her.
Mumsy.
But I did. All right, Jesus, here we go again. Help me to enjoy prayer. This was in 2001, so 2 years after the conversion, and I said, can you help me enjoy prayer? Just simple. I don't even think I was concentrating. I just threw it out there that night. Within 3 weeks of that prayer, it was Lent, and I made a little promise to turn up to the church on the way to work for a minute, and on the way home, just to say, g'day, how are you, Jesus, and go home. And I did. 1 minute became 2 minutes, became 3 minutes. I stumbled into daily mass. I heard the readings. The Beatitudes were read that day. And I just, whoa, that impacted me. Jesus did what? He said what? Love your enemies. What? Turn the other cheek. What? Who says that? What? Who is this God that says that? You know, if someone walks 1 mile with you, walk with him too. They want to take your coat, give him your shirt as well. What? Blessed are those who persecute you and violate you and speak evil of you. What? And it's like 2 years here I am studying, and I did hear that story. I was familiar with that story, but it never impacted me like it did that day. I need to read the Bible. Even though and this is the weird thing, I was listening to Scott Hahn,
Yeah.
but it was funny. I was only listening to it to win an argument. I was listening to it at the time. How do I respond to Muslims? How do I justify Christianity? And it stayed up here, and it didn't go deeper. You know, Mother Teresa says the longest journey is from the head to the heart. Isn't that interesting?
Mm.
Just from there to there, and that can take the longest. And it took 2 years to go from there to there. I was finally impacted, and I said, oh, I want to come back. I came back the next day to Mass. I started to read the Bible cover to cover, the New Testament first, the little Salvation Army Bible at the time, the little red one.
The Good News translation?
Yes,
I had
read
the same one. Yeah.
And in the end, look, to be honest, I read it. I loved Matthew. And then I just skimmed through the rest just to finish it. So I didn't give it the proper chance until later on. But I fell in love with the Beatitudes. So I just kept reading that. And then my friend, this Paul, shout out to Paul again, he wanted to go and pray the rosary every day at people's homes. So I said, yeah, let's do it. Now, I was sort of a shy person then, and I never wanted to show my faith publicly. I kept it to myself, even though I would bring it up at work here and there, but I was still shy. I couldn't sort of speak to multiple people. I could speak to one-on-one to someone, but I couldn't do it in masses. And here this guy is just larger than life. He's going out there saying what Our Lady did for him. And that inspired me. I said, yeah, all right. So after church, we would go to Sunday Mass back at the Maronite Church, St. Charbel's. And now I'm rediscovering this Maronite heritage I didn't really practice after 18 years. And after Mass, we would give out rosary beads. That was it, a little flyer, how to pray the rosary. That was a little apostolate we had. And let's do it. And we kept finding beads and just giving them out. And then we started nightly rosary at the parish. And then he had the idea of starting what was happening at Lumen Verum Apologetics at this church with young adults. But instead of doing like a full hour lecture, just do a half hour break. At half hour, just have a break, have some refreshments, and then go again. So in 2001, a group called Guardians was formed. And we've had many speakers come to that, and it was great. I met my wife there. It was a faith formation night. And instead of weekly, we did it fortnightly. So we just tweaked the model to make it more palatable for young adults. And we had 40 people there. The first speaker, Father Terence, spoke on the 4 last things. I remember it like it was yesterday. We're going back 21 years. And I remember it. 40 people turned up. And I remember we had a pizza that night celebrating. We had a beer as well. All right, it's underway. And so I would go to Lumen Verum, I would go to Guardians, I would do the philosophy classes, adult formation, continue to listen to Scott Hahn. But now this next part of my life was pray, pray a lot. And the miracle here is in Lent, I prayed every day and it increased in time. By the time I got to Easter Sunday, I was praying 3 hours a day. Now you have to just pause and remember it was the start of just before Lent. I hated prayer. Yeah. I literally hated it. So that you can't explain that other than God's grace.
What did your 3 hours of prayer look like?
So there was a holy hour. So every night, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night, my mum's prayer group would pray the Rosary, Stations of the Cross, Divine Mercy Chaplet. They did the Cenacle. Father gave me. They'd read that, and that filled an hour. And so that was 1 hour. In the morning, I'd go to Mass. Pray the Rosary before Mass, read the Bible. So then there was about another hour there. And throughout the day, I would also there would be half hour there where I would go to Father Chris's place and then we'll do Divine Office. He actually taught me the Liturgy of the Hours. He was a Benedictine monk, so we prayed the Benedictine way, which was 7 times a day. And he had this beautiful Psalter, the Psalms, where it was handwritten, and it was just beautiful. He had a little chapel in his house and would pray. And I started to learn the Latin responses. So my exposure to Latin started with Father Chris, and he would pray the Vatican II Mass, but in Latin. It was interesting. A lot of people who would witness it think, "Hey, that's the old rite." No, it's actually the new rite, but in Latin. And it was Ad Orientem. He would chant the consecration in Latin. It was beautiful. And I knew how to serve that Mass. And Father Fessier, God bless him, produced these little missals that was basically the Latin responses in the English there. So I'd follow in English, but Father Chris would do it. And I just fell in love. And then EWTN, I got to see Scott Hahn for the first time. I didn't know what he looked like. And it was the Lamb Supper series with Mike Aquilina, and I would watch that with Father Chris. So I would pray Divine Office, Mass, Chaplet, and then 3 rosaries a day. So the morning, the evening at someone's house, and then at night with the prayer group. I loved it. I can't describe it. My friends noticed the difference, and now that's where it gets fun. They said, "Hey, Charlie, what's going on? You're starting to pray a lot. Do you want to be a priest or something, And what's come over you? You become really religious." I said, "You know what? I know. I love God. I just love him." And he said, "Well, you have us to thank for it." This is my Muslim friend. And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, if we didn't challenge you, you never were religious like this. If we never challenged you, you wouldn't be like this." And he hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, "You know what? You're right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have asked the questions." So every day I've thanked God for my Muslim friends. If it wasn't for them challenging me and me searching for the answers, I would have remained a lukewarm Catholic.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.